knowing it's not going to work. But hey,
I don't think I've had that since I was like.
gotta try. uh,
Thanks. Actually, I'm meeting a friend for breakfast, and then.
yes, I hate Israel. I'm not a fan of religion in any form. Christianity's dumb, Islam's dumb, but Judaism is awful.
I'll call you later.
It's awful. And really, they're all awful. I mean, like, the Muslims are awful in a much more open sort of way. The Christians are awful to other people in ways that are hidden from the majority of us.
Christians are the worst. No,
they're not.
they're awful.
They're not. They're not the worst. They're absolutely not the worst. At the end of the day, see, this is the thing. This is the separation. At the end of the day, the average Christian wants the best for you. The average Muslim wants the best for you. They want to save your soul. They believe you have a soul, they have a soul. And that soul is in jeopardy of burning in hell for all of eternity. And so they really want you to be saved. They believe it'll affect your life in a better way. Ginger, same kind of shit, right? Especially because they're judging you. They look at you and think, oh, you look at your life, you're definitely going to go to hell. I mean, it's not like you're a good enough person that if you didn't subscribe to the dogma and pay your tuition each week, then God's like, nope, we have no room in heaven for people who didn't believe and do all the ritual shit. You might have been a good person, you might have been helping people, you know, everything might have worked, but you didn't pay your tuition, dude. So, I don't answer prayers, bitch. I answer tithing. I fucking put it in the book.
How do those people say that shit?
Because it's in the book.
But
That's what the book says.
And they say that.
Because it lines their fucking pockets. Kenneth Copeland, like, I've never seen Kenneth Copeland talk, and I thought, oh, that's a guy I would get directions from. You know, that's a guy that I would get a recipe from. I wouldn't take. That guy is a fucking, like, if the whole thing was that the devil pretended to be the religious people, and Kenneth Copeland personifies that. The look in his eyes, the fake smile, well, my congregation wants me to fly around in a $300 million jet. You see, I have to do this so I can bring the Jesus to the people around the world, you see. And it's just so fucking awful. But see, that's not the average Christian. The average Christian is the dumbass watching. Is the dumbass who can't accept the idea that as you get older, your body falls apart. Especially if you don't take good care of yourself and you pray about it all the time. The average person can't wrap their head around cancer and shit like that. I mean, that's awful. No one should. You know? He says as he lights the blunt like an idiot. And it's that person that, they believe that there's a heaven waiting for them. That all this turmoil, all this suffering, it'll be worth it when they finally get to heaven because they followed as many of the rules as they could, well, as they chose to. And whatever they didn't follow, well, they'll repent their way through, and and then the party starts. You know, the thing is, I came up with this thing I call the Jimi Hendrix. What do I call it? The Jimi Hendrix paradox. The Jimi Hendrix uh, problem. I don't know what you call it, but if you ask a ton of people, you poll a huge, hey, if you could have lunch with 5, 10 people of history, who's it going to be? If you could meet 10 people in history, who's it going to be? Jimi Hendrix is probably going to be on a lot of people's list. Or just name your fucking person. Whoever you think it is. Who the fuck cares? Pick your fucking person. Real person. Not your...
You're probably going to be sadly disappointed.
Not your Jesus person. Not even that. See, you're taking it further. In real life, Jimi Hendrix didn't just have some open door that anybody could just walk into and come meet him. So up in heaven, if he's even there, which he probably isn't playing that devil's music, but is it Jimi Hendrix's responsibility then for the rest of eternity to meet with every dumb fan that wants to meet him? What if he wants to fucking sail through the universe and see what the fuck's going on? Like, the way that you're describing it is that Jimi Hendrix is just sitting there all day long like, hey, yep, favorite song, Purple Haze, yep, I know, okay, yep, yep. That's all he's going to be doing because everybody's going to want to meet that motherfucker at some point. Even if he wasn't on your list, if you're walking around and people are like, Jimi Hendrix is right over there and he has to meet you. Like, how does that work? How does privacy work in heaven? Apparently, every time somebody dies, I got to be fucking there. Every time a family, where does that line stop? How many second, third, fifth, seventh cousins have to die before I don't have to be there waiting, like, at the end of the tunnel, right? Because
see Coco?
When you come through the tunnel, all the families, right? Those movies, right? They always show, like, where's the line?
Well, as soon as you get forgotten, then you're not there with the rest of your ancestors greeting the next dead person. Duh.
But if you're forgotten by everybody or just the person that died?
The living.
Just everybody?
The living.
Okay, so
that's what Day of the Dead is about.
Technically, you're never really forgotten in that regard, especially if there's like what happens if you're, you got a gravestone and some random person's walking through and they go, oh, Ebenezer Bandudovich, and you're like, and then you disappear again?
Somebody just saying your name is not them remembering you.
Yeah, this is stupid. So in heaven, then my obligation is done once people stop remembering me. Okay. So again, what happens if somebody finds old videotapes and shit like that? And then they're remembering you, kinda. Oh, who's that guy?
Just watching a stranger.
But even still, what if it's like the person, the person's 75 and they haven't thought about you or remembered you in years, and then they're watching a video and they're like, oh,
Coco.
I remember Billy. Oh, Billy was so gentle with his fingers, the way he would slide them in and out of my... Oh, hello. Oh, sorry. Like,
Coco told her grandson stories of her dad, but he didn't remember him because he didn't know who he was. And
yes,
that's why he was disappearing.
But the person telling the stories remembers.
Well, but she wasn't. She was going senile, and she was losing her memory of him.
Well,
and when it came back is when he was...
Yeah, that sounds like a heaven I want to be a part of.
Yeah.
I set up some nice little heaven house, and like I've met Jimmy. I fucking live in Jimi Hendrix neighborhood, and we hang out when he's not busy meeting people, which is always.
But see, now her dad has at least a couple generations to continue going because her great grandson met him in the underworld or wherever the fuck he got a chance to meet.
Yeah, see, now you're taking this dumb movie
Okay,
way too
So
far.
now
But see,
he
that's
is gonna be
Mexican.
remembered.
That's Mexican. That's not Jesus.
It's Christian. Oh, they
That's
believe
not.
in Jesus.
But they don't believe in the right kind of Jesus.
I mean,
The Day of the Dead. Walking around in skeleton costumes. What's the matter with you?
remember
You're
your
supposed to be
ancestors.
sitting in your church upset, blaming yourself, feeling bad. Were you jerking off? Go tell that priest. Priest?
I can't believe that. Who wants that job?
The priests, the sickle priests who are forced to be virgins. Okay. They gotta but then why?
Tell me what bad stuff you did.
But then what are you doing with that? You can't jerk off to it. I mean, literally.
They probably do all the time. You can't see them in that confessional booth.
How do you not think that that's not, in its inception, a way for the church to keep tabs on everybody?
Of course it is.
Like, what the fuck else would it be?
Right. Of course it is.
It's the stupidest shit
Tell me
people.
all your dirty shit.
Right.
I've got it written down in this book. And
Right.
when I need to, I can
I'll
refer
use
to
it against you.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all it is.
The Epstein tapes.
Why would I have to tell a priest something that God was right there for? God's right there. Right there, 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 right there.
Maybe
Who am I telling?
That was one of the times that the devil turned his head the other way.
I'm telling you, the story of Genesis is a story of a guy who has a product he bought at some sort of store in his world.
It's a laser pointer.
No, it's like a chia pet. It's like an aquarium. He buys an aquarium. His name is Todd God, and the aquarium's in his basement, and it's a dark basement, and he
Genesis story of creation.
right, he gets it into the thing, literally. The Genesis starts with God's face is going over the waters of the deep. He's doing like this, looking through his fish tank, trying to figure out exactly where he's gonna put his thing. And then he finally decides where he wants it. So he creates the firmament, puts the dome in there to separate the waters of the heaven from the earth down below so it can dry. And then he does the blah, blah, blah. And him and Adam sit around and he makes little figures. And Adam's like, it's a giraffe. Okay, it's a giraffe, Adam, as you said. And then makes another little, what's this one, Adam? Rhinoceros. Ooh, that'll be fun to say. Rhinoceros. Yeah, I like that. Okay, cool. No, that's cool. And they make all sorts of little things, and they make everything. And apparently, by the time it's over, Adam has to be exhausted. That thing. Here, I made the. What does it do? It flies around. Okay, it's a fly. Okay, can we just call it a fly? I don't want to do this anymore, God. We need those fleas. I think, what do we call them? Fleas, the little ones. Those things keep biting my asshole. Why I got bugs all over my asshole? God, what is that? And God's like, sorry, Adam. I gotta go to work today. And then he goes to work and comes back, and Adam's all depressed, and he's like, what's the matter, Adam? And Adam's like, what? All the animals with the thing like I have, they get to put the thing in the other animal without the thing. I don't really know why. But that looks like fun. I'm thinking of doing it with one of these animals, maybe. I mean, I don't have one. Don't I get one that's like me, but not like me? Don't I get one of those? And God's like, you know what? That's a good idea. Sleep. And Adam's like, well. And God's like, you know how I made Adam from this, that, and the other? I need his rib this time.
Didn't have a rib to begin with.
Didn't have a rib to begin with, but I need a rib this time. So I'm taking the rib, and I'm
Toenail for the first time around.
That's why we got fucking Lilith, because it was a toenail, and didn't want to listen, stupid Lilith. See, that's what we actually did jump at. So first time it happened,
So men are toenails.
God made Lilith. And when Adam woke up, he was like, sweet! And Lilith was like, I know. And Adam was like, let's fuck. And Lilith was like, no, I don't feel like it. And Adam was like, God, this isn't going to work. And God was like, Lilith, come on. Like, come on. What are we doing here? And she's like, he doesn't respect me. He doesn't take me out. Him. And Adam was like, are you fucking serious? Come on, man. Can we do this again? And God was like, and Lilith, God was like, Lilith, can you run outside the garden and grab the milk? The milkman just came by. Can you run outside the garden? Because, there's a whole other people of Nod out there that we don't talk about. But can you just run out and get that? And then Lilith was like, I can do anything Adam can do. I can do it better than him. Watch, I'll do it. So Lilith went to go get the thing, and they closed the door real quick, and they're, fuck that! Ah, ha, ha. So then Adam went to sleep. And this time they made Eve.
So he
And
took
Adam,
another rib?
he made a new rib and then took another rib. He's got it. Don't worry about it. No, remember? Toenail. Lilith was the toenail.
Yeah.
Maybe like a butt hair or something like that. I don't know. She just wasn't a penis fan. We know that. So then Eve came, and Eve was like, let's fuck. And Adam was like, cool. God? And that guy was like, no, I got to go to work. Don't worry about it. So they fuck, and Adam, of course, passes out, and Eve's all got her energy like, oh, I got to clean up. And she's like, man, my vagina's all itchy. Adam sure had a lot of bugs, and I sure have a lot of bugs on my vagina and butthole because we're naked, but I don't notice that. And so all of a sudden the snake slithers in, and it's like, psst, hey, psst. It's exaggerated. Psst. Hey, come here. And Eve's like, who, me? And the snake's like, yeah, you dumb broad, come here. There's nobody else behind you. What the fuck you talking about? And God, who can see everything and is everywhere at all times, isn't there. That's why this conversation happens, because God is at work.
He doesn't hear the snake.
Of course, somehow the snake doesn't get seen. Doesn't see Eve talking to said, drop it, just drop it. Talking to said snake. Nothing.
Don't even move it.
So the snake convinces Eve, says, hey, because the snake's the good guy. The devil is the good guy. The snake convinces Eve, hey, you know how God was like, this whole place is yours, but I'm going to put this one thing in here with these shiny fucking beautiful looking apples in it, and then tell you not to eat that shit? And did God tell all the animals not to eat the apples?
Go try the apple that's on the counter.
I will.
It's a slice. You're going to want to do it quickly. It's the most delicious apple.
But seriously, if there's animals walking around and there's apples on trees and the apples eventually fall down and shit, I mean, even the horses are going to be pulling the apples off the fucking branch. How come the animals didn't get smarter? But anyway, he convinces her to take a bite from the apple. That's good. So
Sugar baby.
she takes a bite of the apple, and immediately she has a super reality moment, where it's like you're standing there and you Google Earth, like, woof, way up in the sky, and you just see the whole thing around you, like, oh my God, what the fuck? And she looks down and she goes, Oh, that's why my coochie's so itchy. The bugs. I knew it was I knew I didn't like, but I didn't. Oh, okay, okay. So
So
suddenly I know how to make.
the first shaved pussy. Then do you think she shaved it too?
No, she didn't know how to make a razor. She did, however, know how to make clothes out of leaves.
Right.
So she suddenly is this amazing clothes out of leaves maker. Makes herself a leaf bikini, patent pending. Obviously, it didn't take off because it wasn't reinvented until the 50s. So if it wasn't even reinvented until like the 40s or 50s, 1900s, does that mean she invented like a one piece? Did she have on a one piece fucking leaf suit before there was a bikini? Is that how it was depicted? But she goes and she wakes up Adam. And she's like, Adam, come on. And Adam's like, yo, what's up? What are you, wearing? I'll call it wearing. What are you wearing? And she's like, these are fucking clothes. It stops the bugs from getting at your asshole. And Adam's like, what? And Eve's like, just go eat one of them apples. And Adam's like, but God said not to. And Eve's like, I'll suck your dick. And he's like, all right, cool. So he went and took a bite of the apple. And he had his super reality, and he was like, oh, God, oh, that's horrible. Okay, no, give me some of them leaf pants. I need leaf pants. My asshole itches. Keep scratching it. My fingers stink. That's why my fingers are always so smelly. And she's like, I know. I was wondering that same thing too. And they figured it out. So then, suddenly, I'm assuming right after Eve makes him his Adam leaf pants, God comes home from work. And somehow Adam and Eve know he's going to be pissed about that. I think some conversation was left out of the Bible. Because, there's little fairy things flying around, scribes taking down the exact conversation that was had. So the fairies know that when God came home, he was like, or came to the home and then went downstairs and went to his basement and shrank down and got into his Garden of Eden. And he was like, Adam, Eve, wherefore art thou? Because again, God sees and knows everything, but can't find Adam and Eve. Think about it. It's right there in front of you. God's walking around looking for him. Adam, where art thou? Adam's like, oh shit, like what do we do? And Eve's like, we just gotta face him. What's the worst thing that's gonna happen? So they walk out and God sees him and he goes, ah! And he falls out. Oh God! Oh God, Dad! I told you the story of fucking never get this shit right. I'm just one naked little fucking playthings. People worship me and they're naked. What's so fucking hard about it? Why are you guys not naked? You took a bite of a fucking apple, didn't you? They were like, well, God, why'd you put it there? I mean, come on now. Literally says it on the box. If they eat the apple, they might not be fucking naked anymore. Well, I told you not to eat from the fucking apple. Yeah, but they're apples. Have you tried them? I know they're delicious. Fuck. Well, you know what? This is unacceptable. And Adam's like, oh, Eve did it. And she's like, motherfucker. And he's like, sorry, you did kind of do it, but I was sleeping. And God's like, oh yeah, bitch. I knew you were going to be a fucking problem. Fuck. Really like this fucking fuck. So he, like, Eve, from here on out, every time you guys have children, you're going to go through fucking horrible labor and you could die. And they were like, what the fuck are children? God's making punishments for shit that they didn't even know. They didn't know what a child was. So all loving, all powerful, all knowing God. It's like, all right, now get the fuck out. And they were like, where are we supposed to go? I don't know. You got your little clothes on now. Go fucking figure it out. So they went out and they built Swiss Family Robinson. And now we know the story. That's literally the Bible, word for word. That's Genesis. Word for fucking word.
Get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out. Motherfuckers naked. All I want you to do is be naked. Is that too hard to? Yeah, but dude, why did you make little ass creatures then? That's a part of the fucking. That's just how it works. I don't know. I did it. I felt like it. Yeah, well, have you ever had worms and bugs and shit crawling in your ass, God? Maybe. Well, it's not fun for us, okay? Shit hurts. You know what's funny is it's like I'm making jokes and exaggerating. You tell me what part I got wrong. You tell me what bit of that was wrong, and I'll quit. It's the dumbest.
Except for the comic relief.
That's what I'm saying. You tell me what, like, out of the foundations, you tell me what other than me joking around, what am I getting wrong?
And if you don't have the comic relief, like, it just...
And then Adam says to Eve, and then, oh, praise thee, God, wherefore art thou? Oh, it's so awful.
So awful.
To think that, like, adults who go to work, who vote, who are responsible for my power being on and my, all these elements of our life, they all believe in that shit. Anyway.
Military.
The military, people
Huge.
with guns and shit. Anyway, pedophiles, kill yourself.